Welcome to Elma Wine and Liquor's YouTube channel. My name's Tim. Today I am here with a bunch of wines, as you can see, and as you may see in front of those wines are a bunch of jalapeno peppers. So one of my employees has been telling me that she is loving dropping a slice of jalapeno into her rosé this summer, add a little flavor, complexity, nuance, fun spice to rosé. So we got to thinking, and we decided, well, if it works for her in rosé, maybe it works in some other wines. So I'm going to taste through a bunch of different varieties, mostly whites, because we think that's going to go a little bit better, and a Pinot Noir, to see whether or not I like this, or whether or not I think it's worth exploring for you. To be honest, I have not even tried the jalapeno in the rosé, like my employee suggests. So I'm going to start off with a Pinot Grigio. This is a California Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigios tend to be kind of middle of the road, not too sweet, not too dry, not a ton of flavor complexity going on. Get a little bit of green apple on the nose. Big green apple, tart. Really not much sweetness at all on that one, but nice crisp acidity on the finish. Nice wine. I think as I taste them, I'm going to go ahead and drop jalapeno in there so we get a little of that flavor spreading around before I go back to it. Next up, we are going to try a Sauvignon Blanc. This is a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. They are known for their big grapefruit flavors, a lot of acidity, a lot of citrus. This one's no different, and this is not my favorite style of wine to begin with. I do not care for grapefruit whatsoever. Smell it on there. I'm not really going to enjoy this one. A lot of that grapefruit. Little grassy note to it as well, but you hear some people describe it as cat pee, which doesn't sound appealing to me. Don't know what people love about it. This is not a knock on this brand. It's just New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs to me in general tend to be a little bit too grapefruity. Drop a jalapeno in that one. We'll move on to the Chardonnay. So Chardonnay, California. This is Cannonball. None of these wines are overly expensive either. Figured I'd experiment with some easier on the budget wines. Get a light vanilla, a little bit of butter on the nose. Creamy, light butter, touch of vanilla, a little bit of apple, a touch of like peach or stone fruit on the finish as well. Moving on to our rosé. This is Forever Summer Rosé. It is from France, and very popular one this year. Good budget-friendly rosé. It's from Mirabeau, which is a higher-end producer of rosé. Very good rosé. Nice floral, a little bit of a lavender with some strawberry watermelon. Get a lot of that fresh fruit, watermelon, strawberry, some berries. Nice citrus acidic finish on that as well. So very refreshing summer wine. And I forgot to drop some jalapeno in the Chardonnay. Drop one in the rosé. And we will move on to some bubbles. This is 19 Crimes, Cali Gold, Snoop Dogg line of wine. See that? It's got some really nice bubbles. None of these are chilled, by the way. Traditionally, when you're tasting whites, you should try them room temperature. They kind of show the wine for what it is. When you cool it down too much, it covers up any flaws or imperfections in it. You think about cheap light beer. The way most people drink that is ice cold because it just goes down easy. You're not really thinking about the flavor. That coldness helps cover up a lot of the flavors, and especially the imperfect flavors. So Cali Gold. Get a little bit of apple on the nose. Those bubbles dissipated very quickly. Didn't really even feel them on my mouth too much in the palate, but did get some apple, a little bit of acidity, a little, kind of good amount of sweetness on that as well. So an interesting sparkling. Drop my jalapeno in there. And last up, we're going to move on to a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Willamette Valley is in Oregon. They have been making some awesome Pinot Noirs in the Burgundian French style. A little bit richer, a little bit earthier. Not like California, which gets a little bit of a warmer growing climate, so the fruit gets juicier and riper. Oregon is still a little bit cooler, like Burgundy in France, where Pinot Noir comes from. And so it's a little bit leaner. Get a little bit of cherry note on the nose. A lot of cherry on that, touch of earth, really nice vibrant acidity kicks in near the end, really kind of leaves my mouth salivating, ready for another sip. So really good quality Pinot there. And in goes the jalapeno. All right, so we'll see how they do with the jalapenos. I do enjoy spicy food. I'm not a big flavored wine fan, so this is an interesting experiment for me. See how it goes. Right off the nose, I do get a good amount of jalapeno, spicy, that capsaicin aroma that I guess one would expect from a sliced jalapeno. A jalapeno definitely covered up a lot of that apple flavor, kind of washed that away right away. Gives it a little bit of that spice, but not overpowering. It doesn't really necessarily taste like the jalapeno would either if I just took a bite of jalapeno. It just kind of covers up some of that fruit flavor, adds that element of spice, and I almost don't feel as much of the acidity as I did the first time around either. So interesting. I'd pass that. I probably am not a big Pinot Grigio drinker. I think I would drink it with a jalapeno in it over just drinking it plain. So I guess that's a win. And moving on to our Crossing Sauvignon Blanc with a jalapeno in it. Now this one's a little bit more interesting. I still smell that grapefruit. It's coming across pretty strong, maybe not as strong as it did the first time, but again, I'm not a fan of grapefruit, so it stands out to me. I do get that jalapeno aroma underneath that grapefruit as well, but not as strong as I did on the Pinot Grigio. So on the palate, I got a little less grapefruit initially, a little bit more citrus, a little bit of spice, not a lot at all though. But then near the end, it changed the complexity and the flavors a lot. The grapefruit did kick back in, but not overpowering. And the way it blended with that jalapeno, I actually found it a little bit more tolerable than just the straight grapefruity Sauvignon Blanc that I'm used to from New Zealand. So I guess, again, if I was going to drink a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, I'd throw a jalapeno in it over drinking it plain. Definitely added a little bit of element to it for me that I found more pleasurable. I guess if you're a true grapefruit lover in the New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs, you might want to skip the jalapeno in that one. All right, moving on to Chardonnay with a jalapeno in it. Now this one I get, again, that jalapeno comes really strong forefront on the nose. It definitely covers up any of the vanilla and butter I was getting the first time around. But there is still like a little element of a creamy aroma to it. This one's, I'd have to fail right off the bat, and I can't even explain why. It almost like, just like killed all the flavor of the wine, but didn't even give me the jalapeno flavor that I enjoy as well. That's quite interesting. It just completely, almost like they just canceled each other out and made it pointless to drink. Yeah, definitely would not recommend that pairing. Skip that one. All right. On to the rosé with the jalapeno in it, which is the one combination that kicked off this whole concept here. Interesting, I still get a lot of that fruity nose on it. The watermelon, strawberry comes in pretty heavy over that jalapeno. I don't smell much of the jalapeno at all. That's interesting. So that still got hit right up front with that watermelon, strawberry, a little bit of citrus, but the spice kind of settled on the bottom of my tongue very nicely. It didn't taste like jalapeno, just that little bit of heat, tingly heat from it, which I enjoy. Mellowed out the acidity a little bit on the finish. Did not finish quite as crisp and acidic. A little bit smoother. I could see why somebody would enjoy that. I think I enjoyed the rosé better without the jalapeno myself, but definitely an interesting combination and something you might want to check out if you're looking for a way to spice up your rosé this summer. All right, moving on to our sparkling California wine with a jalapeno in it. I'm going to add some fresh bubbles to this because it really flattened out quite quickly. Might be because it's not chilled. So now I got some fresh bubbles in there with the jalapeno. That's quite nice, actually. Not a lot of aroma on it, but that jalapeno kind of kicked up some of the fruit notes that weren't really shining through the first time. Get a little bit of stone fruit, like peach, apricot, a little bit of apple. There was a little bit more acidity and less sweetness this time around, probably from that spice, just kind of balancing out the sweetness a little bit. So I found that much more enjoyable with this particular bubbles with the jalapeno in it. Quite nice. And last up, we have our Pinot Noir with the jalapeno. When I first told my employees I was going to do a red with the jalapeno, everybody looked at me like I was crazy because we figured whites would be the ones, but why not? Let's give it a try. I don't like that nose at all. That's the way the spice is mixing with the cherry and the earth. It doesn't come across as pleasing at all in the nose. No. Nope. That's a definite no for me. The way that heat, weirdly enough, the heat on this one is overpowering. Not horrible, but way stronger than the rest of these. It kind of comes across. It's really harsh. It somehow accentuated some like tannins and acids in the Pinot Noir while covering up all the flavors of the fruit and the earth. I would definitely not do that one again. So the winners, I guess, were the Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Rosé, and Bubbles. All worth giving a shot to. Maybe a less oaky Chardonnay, more an unoaked Chardonnay. This one has a little bit of element of oak to it, and maybe that's what's not mixing well with the jalapenos. It's also possible, I'm looking at the jalapenos slices I put in there, they all seem to have an equal amount of seeds to them as well, so it's not like one had an excessive amount of seeds to it versus the other ones. Similar size in most of them. Definitely kind of a fun experiment. Not something I would do a lot of, but like I said, especially with those first two wines that I personally don't drink a lot of anyway, if I was going to drink them, if somebody handed me a glass and there was a bowl of jalapenos sitting around, I'd probably throw one in just to make it a little bit more pleasurable for my taste. That's it for today. I hope everyone really enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please send your suggestions for other fruits, vegetables, random stuff that you put in your wines and what combinations you like, and we can give it a shot sometime here on Elma Wine and Liquor's YouTube channel. Hope you really enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, tag a friend, share the video with other people. We really appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers.